Yeah, it just gets worse. Okay. So, vision for Ignite. Welcome everyone to another Hot One-to-Ones episode where we go and have a one-to-one for our B&I chapter where we learn more about each other's business and how you can help each other grow. So today I'm talking with Kevin Sembaliuk of Zen Cyber and Sunbelt Business Brokers. So welcome, Kevin.
Hey, thanks, Dan. Happy to be here. Looking forward to this cool hot one-to-one.
Yeah, looking forward now, but just wait.
Yep.
All right, so we will jump right into it. We're gonna go right for the hot sauce and we'll jump right into the questions. So the first hot sauce we have is Mango Bango Elevation Hot Sauce. So let's...
that one definitely sounds interesting.
Let's get cracking.
I like mango.
Smells good. I'm going hefty.
Don't be cheap.
There
we go.
Perfect.
Right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
Nice crunchy sound in the microphone.
Sweet with a little heat. Really nice.
Yeah.
Almost like pineapple on pizza, but mango on wings.
Is there pineapple in the front?
No, mango.
Looks like a pineapple. Anyway, you want to start with the first question?
My pleasure. So, Dan, what are you most curious about now?
That's a big question. Something that keeps coming up that I've seen on, I've heard about on podcasts and even a stand-up comedian was talking about it. It's just that Earth and life and everything just doesn't make sense. And so Pete Holmes has a bit about it. And so for all our PG viewers, there's a few F-bombs in that, so I don't suggest you watch it without your parents. And even there's the one, it's a Francis Chan podcast, and he's talking about we're on this ball of magma flying through infinite nothingness that's spinning and moving through this open universe at thousands of miles an hour. And we're just here eating chicken wings and talking about it. And it's just, it really...
Yeah, how does that make any sense?
Right.
Yeah.
And then so you go out into this like incredible universe and you come back in and you just look at like how our bodies operate and the atoms and everything and how we're held together, and it just really blows me away. So I keep getting sucked down some of those YouTube video
rabbit hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Rabbit hole of information, right? Yeah. And it is. It's crazy out there. A lot of things don't make sense, and there's so much information and so many theories, and you know, and there's a lot going on. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Okay, but I'll bring it back down to earth, and I'm interested to hear this because I know you've had a few jobs over the years. Almost 50 years, I think, coming up.
Yep, very soon. Yeah. Wild and Free 73. That's me.
That's good. What's the worst job you've ever had?
Worst job I ever had. Well, this was another tough one because I've been working since I was 12 and trying to figure out, you know, which one I really didn't like the most. And it came down to actually 3. I know you wanted 1, but it sort of came down to 3. And oddly enough, they came down to cold calling.
Oh yeah.
And so one, I was selling magazines over the phone, so the telemarketing.
Yeah.
I hated it, right? It was just really frustrating, and because you're bothering people at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Second one, that one I worked for about a week. And then the second one I tried at one time was selling teddy bears, door to door to businesses.
Wow.
I know, right?
I never heard that one.
Yeah, so I went for this wonderful job interview, and it was almost like going to Electrolux, right, where they bring you in. And anyway, so they took us out, and I went out to Fort Saskatchewan, and so I drove the sales guy that was the trainer and this other guy, and we all went 3 separate ways. And back then there was no cell phones or anything to get a hold of anybody, and I couldn't find the guy, and I went to a couple, and I went, this is not for me. So I took off and left him in Fort Saskatchewan.
Like you had the car?
Yeah, it was all in my car, so I drove the guys, and I couldn't find them.
Yeah.
And we were in this business area, yeah. So it was awful, right? And then same with I had another one going business to business selling fish and meat, right? Just cold calling is not my shtick.
No,
right?
That's a tough job for sure.
Yeah, so I just hated it, right? So.
Yeah.
Those are probably the 3 that I hated the most because they were, I think, involved cold calling.
Yeah.
Right, which was, again, not my thing.
Yeah. Well, I can't blame you for hating those jobs. So, all right, moving on. We got my new favorite brand of hot sauce. It's called Heartbeat Hot Sauce, and this is the blue habanero. So, I'm looking forward to it.
Habanero.
Blueberry habanero.
Oh, blueberry habanero.
Yeah.
That's an interesting combination.
These guys got quite the lineup of hot sauces.
Heartbeat. Oh, hopefully it keeps my heartbeat ticking. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
To the heartbeat.
Cheers. Not too bad.
Nope. No. So, the next question here, Dan. You know what? I know in my time I've ran into a lot of celebrities and so on, and I'm sure you have too. So what is your most memorable celebrity encounter, and what made it memorable?
Okay, so the year that Connor McDavid was drafted,
Yep.
a buddy of mine, Greg, we were trying to go down to Florida to watch the draft. But that's still sitting on the tongue. Flights to Florida are really hard to get when you need them. So we ended up going to the Penticton rookie camp.
Yep.
And while we were there, we ended up running into Gene Principe at Tim Hortons. And we I just looked at him and was like, hey, Gene, like I was trying not to bug him. And he just started the conversation. He's like, hey guys, how's it going? What are you doing? And we had our Oilers jerseys on. So he talked to us. He actually got our cell phone number so we could text him.
What?
And so he knew we were there to try and get McDavid's signature. And so he kind of gave us some pointers on where to go, and I hope I'm not ratting them out right now.
Right? Yeah.
And so we went to that tournament. We ended up getting his signature. Greg has a really good story about getting 2 signatures on 1 jersey, but I'll let him tell that story.
Way. Wow.
But while we were there, like we ran into Bob McKenzie and talked to him, and Joe Sakic, and like all these big announcers and broadcasters from TSN and Sportsnet and Ched, and it was just they were all so awesome and just talking to us as we were there. So
that's pretty cool, yeah, because I know you're passionate about hockey and love hockey and the Oilers, and
it was cool.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Pretty jealous.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's starting to kick in a little bit here.
Yeah, a little bit of sweat on the brow.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, so I got a good one for you. If you could go to any concert anywhere in the world at any point in time, where would you go and who would you see?
You know, Dan, that's one heck of a good question. You know, I like a lot of music from the past. You know, and I thought about this long and hard, and it was more than just about the performers. it was also about the venue and what it meant, what it would mean to me. So, you know, like I was thinking about Elvis, maybe the Beach Boys, right? I think those would be a lot of really cool, fun concerts. But I'm going to go back not that long ago to February the 18th, 2006.
Okay.
And I've never been here. I've never been to Copacabana Beach in Rio de Janeiro.
Sounds nice.
And oddly enough, you were talking about the world and the magma, and there was a concert, there was a redo by this awesome band called A Bigger Bang, and by the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
So because it encompasses all their music from their 4 decades or 3 decades of music,
Oh, yeah.
right? So
Nice.
not just from the 60s and 70s, which were there some great concerts back then.
Yeah.
But I think just to see the Rolling Stones, Mick Jagger, because he was still, movable, right, at the time, and
Yeah.
some of the original band members, but just to be on the beach in this free concert in Rio de Janeiro, what better place to be where the next day you don't have to go to work, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're going to the Commonwealth, there's some great concerts, but I think
For sure.
just that experience and watching him live on the beach would be
Yeah. It'd be a great atmosphere.
a great atmosphere, right? So
Yeah.
that's what really brought into my mind where I would go.
Nice.
So that's a great question.
I like it. I'm coming with you.
Perfect. You're invited. So is
Sweet.
everybody else if you want to come.
All right. So this is our mystery sauce. I just got it from Mexico. I got back early this morning. El Yucateco, and it says chili habanero salsa. And so the guy there told me that it was hot, and I said really hot, and he said really hot, but really good flavor. So I have no idea what we're getting into right now.
Dan, I'm a little nervous about this one.
Maybe this might be hotter than the last dab, but
So yeah, well, so far so good. We haven't had to tap into our
no, not at all.
not at all. Well, this is where I get scared because you've never tried it either. So, and I don't
Smells
see
good,
I don't see you giggling.
Smells good.
And no Scoville, so that's even a scarier part. But I don't want to get it on my fingers because I'll rub my eyes. I'm just blind for a while. All right, here's to the mystery. Okay. And here they come.
Hiccups are here.
The hiccups are here. I've hit that spice peak when I get the hiccup. So, they're not.
That's good. He wasn't joking.
No, I'm not joking. Just the hiccups. I'll be fine. Oh, and watery eyes. So Dan, we have a lot of things in life that keep us going. What gives you the motivation to keep going in business and personal life?
Good question. So, the last couple years have been, well, maybe the last 4 or 5 years have been a wild ride for me. And so I think about last week where I was in Mexico, and while I was there, it was, sorry, my phone was ringing.
That's a fine.
It was, yeah. I'm the sergeant at arms though, so no fine. I'll find myself this week. It was Employee Appreciation Day, and at this couple of days after, it was the Women's Appreciation Day, and so I think about the women in my life, like Heather. I mean, she's been crucial to getting Ignite to where it is now.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wouldn't be where we are now if it wasn't for her. I think about like Megan.
Yep.
Megan and Michelle in the office, and the two women there that keep that office running, and even just having the two of them there, like I was able to really disconnect while we were gone and escape the business, and I think about my kids too, and the the grace that they've given me as I've spent a lot of hours working on this business and building it, and just not giving me a hard time about missing some of the events that I have, but they've been great, and then I just like the whole team at Ignite, everybody that's worked for me in the past and working with us now and will be in the future. It's just, I don't want to let any of these people down. I really want Ignite to grow and be successful, and even all the customers that got us here too. Just I don't want to let anybody down. Like we're over 12 years in business now, so there's a lot of people that have been part of this. So
a lot of great people part of your story. But so the truth is that behind every great man is a woman.
Yeah.
And for you, it sounds like there's 5.
Yeah.
5 great women in your life that support you, but more importantly, your family.
Yeah.
Right.
For
Heather
sure.
and the 2 kids. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So congratulations on that. That is truly the motivation and your why. So family's number 1.
Okay, your turn. How are you feeling?
I think I can talk. It's burning.
The hiccups
My
are
lips
gone.
are on fire. Hiccups are subsided.
Well,
The bubblies help.
I do know that this was not as hot as this one's going to be, so you got like the base there now, so you're good to go for the last dab.
I'm gonna go home. My lips are gonna be all swollen because they're on fire right now.
Yeah, I bet for sure. Yeah, I can feel it on my tongue.
Yeah.
All right, so right now you are part of 2 businesses. Mm-hmm. You're with Sunbelt Business Brokers, and you're with Zen Cyber Security. So keeping the BNI and the one-to-one purpose in mind, what are 2 top referrals for each of those companies that you're involved in?
Certainly. Yeah. So on the business broker side, where we sell businesses, we don't buy them, we sell them. So keep that in mind. So I think accountants are one of our great referral partners, as well as actually financial planners.
Okay.
They're the ones in the world that are working with the business owners directly.
For sure.
And working on their exit strategies. So those are 2 very important referral partners for us to have.
Good.
With Zen Cyber, cybersecurity is a forever changing world, and for us, we are not an IT company. It's an education company first and foremost. Okay. And so our job is to help make sure that your company is compliant with your insurance, your industry, but more importantly, keeping your clients' information safe and so on. So and your business. So for us, one is because we're on the compliance side for your commercial insurance company that deal in cybersecurity insurance because we do the risk assessments for them and do the due diligence.
Yeah.
So if they do get hit, when they do get hit with a breach, they've proven they've done everything they could. The second one, which is rather interesting for us, would be actually IT company. And it was kind of because there's a toss-up, and it was IT and web designing companies. So people who do web design.
Okay.
So they're dealing with the clients that have the most information online and the most information to come in the back door with clients logging in all over the place.
Yeah, they're the one fixing these problems if something happens too, right?
So we want to make sure that everything is protected and secure, and it never hurts to have a couple set of
right. And you're not an IT.
We are not an IT company. Nope.
You're teaching employees of businesses to not click on emails that are whatever. There's things like that.
And
like what is the course that you're doing like really involve like in teaching? Like you don't have to give us all of it.
Right. Well, the course is a 16-hour course.
Yeah.
And then, well, it's actually full 21, which includes the personal one-to-one safeguard check, where we'll show you how to set up your computer and make sure that it's safe and secure.
Yeah.
But the course teaches you tips and tricks to balance convenience and security.
Yeah.
So we cover about, I think it's 18 topics, not just 4. There's 4 very important ones, but we go more in depth in what you can do, because it's not just about, VPNs and passwords, right? It's what we do in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
And the amount of information we share, and then how to prevent it from happening. Right?
Yeah.
So that's where it really gets in depth. So yeah, we enhance IT teams, right? So they'll protect your hardware and your software, and we're what I call the wetware, which is the people. So we're the people side of it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Awesome. One more question about the insurance companies.
Yes.
So is this something that any commercial insurance company is offering now, or is it something that people need to ask for?
Well, I think you need to make sure that you do have that protection in place for your organization. It's very, very important. And there's 2 components, right? There's I believe it's called, again, I'm not an insurance guy, right? So, but there's first party liability, and then there's third party. And first party is that if you get hit with a breach, it's going to cover you for the repairs, maintenance, maybe pay out the ransomware attack. The second side of it is when your clients, right, or a third party, if you were the cause of a third party breach that got in from, and then that's more in depth, but the third party liability, so when you get sued, that's the coverage. So you got to make sure you got 2 coverages, right? So it's always good to review it, because you're always trying to save money, and your insurance agent will just tick one box and maybe not the other one.
Oh yeah.
Right. So you want to make sure that you're properly covered in the event something happens, right? Because the average breach is like $500,000 for a small business.
Okay.
And up.
This is why we have one-to-ones. That's important stuff. I didn't know.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great question. Thanks for diving into that a little bit deeper.
Yeah. Okay. Here we are. Now, all these hot one-to-ones that we've done, we've never done it in such a short jump, right? There's been more time to build up to this, so you're handling it. So this one is the last dab, Reaper edition, right from the show. So,
oh boy,
this is
the one where I'm gonna
the $2 million school bill, hot sauce.
You know what? As long as it's got flavor, I'm okay with it. Because there's some hot sauces you have that just don't have any flavor. So I guess I got to match that, huh?
No, you do what you think is best.
No, man. This is
There.
I'm up for the challenge.
It's coming. I'm gonna spread
Tina,
this
my
out
wife
a
thinks
bit.
I'm crazy.
Everybody thinks that we're crazy for doing this.
Yeah, but it's so much fun.
There you go.
Now we're talking. There.
Okay, now be careful with your hands too. I have touched my eye after one of these, so
Oh, have you?
be careful.
Yeah.
That's good.
Let's watch the match.
We don't need a hero.
Oh, I just want to make sure the whole thing's coated so that I get the whole effect going in and out.
I mean,
Hopefully
we
not.
won't
Hopefully
talk
not
about
out.
that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
All right, here we
Thanks,
go.
Kevin.
All right, I'm sweating already. Just the smell. Good flavor.
You okay?
I think so. I can still talk, yeah?
can
Do I
see-
sound normal? Because I feel normal for now.
Here it comes. I can see it in your eyes.
Boy, that's a slow release. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see. So Dan, you're the founder of Light Heating and Air Conditioning. And we met through BNI, and I've known you for about 10 years now. And I've seen you grow in a very successful HVAC company with Ignite Heat and Air Conditioning. So congratulations on that. Tell us how big is your team, and what is the vision for Ignite, and what is next for Ignite and the Bowie family?
It just keeps getting worse. There's more napkins there.
Yeah, I think those are the ones that have sauce on them.
Yeah, it just gets worse. Okay. So, vision for Ignite. We just want to be different. Like, we just want to be customer focused. Are we perfect? No. But we own our mistakes, and we try and fix them as best as possible. But everything from the first phone call to the final follow-up call after a job's complete, we just want to be different. We've heard nothing but complaints about so many businesses over the years, and people are looking for somebody reliable and honest, and we want to be that company. But I even want to take it like a step further and say, like, just being an employer, we want to be different. We really want to, show our team,
right?
yeah, our team that they're important. That it doesn't matter if you're a laborer or you're a seasoned journeyman or whatever. Everybody's valuable on our team. So yeah, we're trying to work on that. Ultimately our goal is to provide comfortable homes. So we go to so many houses, brand new houses that people move into, and they have,
Oh, don't cry.
they just have nothing but discomfort in the temperature around their house, and we just want to be able to provide them with options to find that comfort, and yeah, just, you should be comfortable at home. And so we want people to enjoy the space that they're moving into.
Yeah, so let me dive a little deeper into that. So right now you guys are just residential. So you guys, you guys do new home builds, and obviously if I got a 1970s home, you'd come in and replace. You guys have a repair service, right?
Yeah,
and a maintenance program.
Yeah.
What's sort of the next vision for? Are you adding additional services to your company, or is it just a matter of now just sort of steady growth? Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah.
From that aspect, how can we help you?
We do want to see some growth this year. We want to get up to 3 installation crews, and
How many crews you got now?
Oh man, two crews and a service tech, but we'd like to get to 3 install crews for sure this year. And what's coming down the line is, so on this Napoleon trip that I mentioned, we were talking about before, I've been talking people out of heat pumps for pretty much my whole 20-year career, and I've never been asked so many times in a year about heat pumps than I have this year. And so,
What is a heat pump?
heat pump is an air conditioner that can work in reverse. So air conditioning is taking the heat from your house, moving it outside. A heat pump will take the heat from outside, move it inside. And so because we live in northern Alberta, our climate is cold, obviously. There hasn't been a lot of time that you could actually get the full value out of it. Napoleon has a heat pump coming out this year. It's 18 SEER heat pump, and it's going to be a part of a hybrid heating system that we're going to start installing. And so we're doing some training on it now, but it'll use electricity in that in-between season, that minus 15 to, just above 0.
Oh, nice.
So it'll use it there, and then once it hits a certain temperature outside, and and they'll even incorporate gas and electrical prices. So it'll find the cheapest way to heat your home, and so it'll decide if it's going to use the heat pump or if it's going to use that gas furnace, and it'll find the cheapest way to heat your home. And you'll also be getting an 18 SEER air conditioner, which is the minimum standard right now is 13 SEER. So I'm really excited about these. It's a new way of thinking HVAC in Northern Alberta, and we got some training coming up in April on them, and we're looking forward to getting these going.
That's pretty cool. So no focus on, you guys don't touch commercial.
Yes, sorry, I missed that part. Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, we do commercial work, so we're looking for.
Your mouth as numb as mine?
It was getting better, and then I swallowed. Strip malls, like stores and coffee shops, things like that. We are looking for commercial work. We don't do very much service on the commercial side, but we obviously do service work on the residential side.
Yep.
And we also have the Comfort Club too that we've been working on for the last couple of years, where we'll come out yearly and check your furnace and your AC. We'll give you your supply of filters and make sure you're all set up with anything else you need for accessories. And if you do want to buy humidifier down the road, we have some discounts for being a part of the club. So yeah, thank you for asking.
That Comfort Club is actually pretty cool, and like what's the one biggest mistake a homeowner does when you get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning when their furnace goes out?
Well, I know you're asking this because you've been in B&I with me for 10 years.
Yeah.
And I say it so many times, but dirty air filters.
Yeah.
Dirty air filters are the main thing, both for heating and cooling. Yeah. And the reason I started the Comfort Club was, one, because I was on my own doing these service calls, and I kept getting nuisance calls like that, right? Just little maintenance things that could have been fixed. And here I am at your house on Christmas Day trying to get your heat going. And the thing I kept hearing was, I was stopping at Home Depot. I kept forgetting to do that on my way home, or things like that. So I thought, well, if we can schedule that appointment, like we'll call you, we'll book you in, right? You don't have to think about it. Yeah. We'll come there, we'll leave you with a year's supply of filters, so you don't have to think about it when you're coming home from work. You just have to remember to do it when you're at home. And then we'll even email you every 3 months with a newsletter, just some information about what's going on.
I get those, and those are fantastic, by the way. Some great tips in there.
And it'll say, okay, if you have a MERV 11 filter, you're waiting till the next email, and if you have typical 1-inch one, you should change it now. So we're just trying to take that sort of maintenance work out of people's minds, because people are busy and
so busy, families and kids, and events, just so much going on, right, in people's lives, and it's tough to remember to do everything, right? And so I think that is absolutely the most genius thing you ever had, because making sure those little things that'll make your
I should really sign up and do it on my own house, because mine's the most neglected furnace and AC.
Well, I guess it's kind of like any trades guy, right? Yeah. You go to an electrician's house, his lights are dangling.
Exactly.
You go to a mechanic, and he's got the worst running cars. Yeah. Right? Because you're so worried about everybody else, you forget to focus on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And I'm sure Heather loves that.
She didn't love it when she called me last year when it was -30 and we had no heat or no hot water. So.
That's always a great phone call, right?
I don't have time. But how are you feeling?
My mouth is still numb.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised I didn't get the hiccups from that one.
Yeah, good.
It's a different heat.
For sure. It's punching.
It's not as peppery, I don't think, right? But it is a big punch.
That first little bit of flavor is good, and then it just.
It just I feel like I could go to the dentist now, and I wouldn't need any freezing for dental work.
Perfect.
That's what it feels like for me.
Okay, so back to B&I. A B&I staple is the Gaines profile. I've been filling them out over my career in BNI. So gains profile stands for goals, accomplishments, interests, networks, and skills. So you want to give us a quick rundown of your gains profile, get a little more information about you and your businesses, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, thanks, Dan. So this is a great question. It's something that we should all focus on, and sometimes I call it the gains or my vision statement.
Sure.
So for me, my biggest goal is to have multiple 7 streams of income making over $6,800 a day.
Okay.
Hey, it's only 2.4 million a year, right? Connor McDavid makes that in half a season, right? Not a quarter of the season, right?
Yeah.
He made that in the first 2 months. So really, when you look at it, it's not a whole lot of money every year, right? But that's in my pocket. And what that allows me to do is actually spend more time with my family. I'm able to travel more, do more golfing. I want to golf a couple times a week is my goal.
Yeah.
And be able to go to the gym. Well, I have a membership now, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But do those different things. Spend more time with the family and just focus on me more. So that'll allow me to do those things when I accomplish that. And in a way, that is what I call it for the Sunbelt Business Broker business. It's the 12 times 12, right?
Mm-hmm.
equals 7.
Okay.
And
Let me check that.
Yeah. Well, what that means is that the way it works is if I can list 12 businesses a year, and I can sell 12 businesses a year, that'll give me a 7-figure income just from Sunbelt Business Brokers.
Okay. Perfect.
So that's why I call the 12 by 12 equals 7.
Yeah.
Right. So it's actually pretty cool. And then for Zen Cyber, it's depending on the services we look at, my goal is to sign up 500 clients using our monitoring services.
Sure.
Is the big game. It's about taking that proactive approach. So,
Okay.
Some accomplishments in my life back in the day. I think one of my big things here when I moved to Sherwood Park is my kids joined ball hockey.
Yeah.
So and I did coaching and reffing, so the volunteering that I do. But I was able to help my kids win some medals in their ball hockey, so some golds and some silvers, and just being able to see my kids be part of a team and leadership and that stuff.
Perfect.
In business, accomplishment for me, I think, is back in the day, I oversaw a couple Tim Hortons. I won 4 sales awards, and so what that means is that for every million you hit in revenue at Tim's, you get an award, a milestone award. And it was for 2 Tim Hortons in the middle of the bush when I worked for the oil patch. Nice. So, a couple hours north of Fort McMurray.
Yeah.
And they said they'd never do more than $300,000 a year. But when I worked with Tim's, we were able to go from just a kiosk selling coffee and donuts to a modified menu, which I was able to achieve, and get the all-day breakfast sandwich in. So in 2011, I brought in the all-day breakfast sandwich for Tim's, which they said would never work.
Nice.
And today it's working, so I'll never get credit for it, but that's okay. But I am here today. I'll pump my own tires. But for winning those, they finished with 2.8 and 2.9 million. Built it to that on a modified menu, not the full menu.
Yeah.
I think for that and just being able to overcome some things and challenges in 2019 when I changed careers. Mm-hmm. And just being resilient and coming back through 2020 and the last 3 years. Yeah. And I owe it actually to BNI. So the accomplishment to show my kids that you can be resilient, it's okay to fail, because it's the relationships that you make along the way. Yeah. And if it wasn't for BNI, I wouldn't be with Zen Cyber and I wouldn't be with Sunbelt. Right. Because I met those people along my journey. Yeah. With my previous business and the chicken wing business, oddly enough. So for me, interests, I think we kind of covered those a little bit, which is the traveling, the playing golf, and spending time with the family. And I'm going to Vegas here for my 50th, Tina and I, and we actually haven't been away in over 10 years.
Right.
Haven't been on a vacation. So just we're starting to achieve some of those goals, which is really fantastic. So and I owe it to my networks, right? For BNI, Sherwood Park Chamber. I owe it to the Sherwood Park ball hockey and the football that my kids played, and so I think from that I'm also I play slow pitch and So those leagues there,
Just
give
give
me some
on the skills too.
it depends who you talk to. Depends on the day I'm having.
Yeah.
Depends how many beers you've had, right? So, but yeah, I think that's what those networks are all about, right? And I belong to a couple mastermind groups.
Okay.
So those really help. The Sherwood Park Chamber, the Art of Conversation.
Yeah.
So I go to a lot of networking events and just building relationships. But skills, I think, for me, it's leadership, being able to suffer through that, the last punch here, right, on the hot ones, in the Reaper. But, I think it's just helping inspire people. Is one of the things I think that I didn't really thought I had, and I think it's really good. And
I got a skill for you that I see in you, and just knowing you for the last 10 years, right?
Yeah.
Can you believe we've known each other for a decade now?
A decade.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, but it's been a great decade, right? To get to know you and your family and watch you grow. Yeah,
for sure.
Fantastic.
But so the skill is you're a connector, and just watching you and BNI, and somebody new walks in the room, and you can always hear you're not a quiet guy, Kevin, and you're a laugh, and it's very welcoming to new people in the room for sure, and just always hearing, like, even on our group chat, right? It's just, I got somebody for you, so I'd say connecting and welcoming, or however you want to word that, would be a skill set for you.
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, and I get that from my mama and my papa, right? I think it's about always trying to help somebody, right? And that's what's important to me, right? Is helping people, and like you do, you help people stay warm and comfortable at night, and you're there 24/7, right? So I think it's just about where's your heart, right? And the truth is, how can I help you, right? And that's where my mind goes, is when I meet somebody, I want to help you. And that's really rubbed off on my kids, to see them going out and helping, right?
Doing the same thing,
Doing the same things, right? So
good.
Just about helping people.
Well, good stuff, Kevin.
Yep.
Great stuff. Don't forget to log your 1-to-1, but thank you for running through the gauntlet with me. It's now spread to my lips, and my lips are on fire, so
and I think it's actually started to make me dizzy. That was awesome, Dan. Thanks, man.
Thanks for meeting today.
Those are some great sauces, and I think I'm going to have to pick me some up.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
All of these have Instagram accounts, so you should be able to find them online. And as the YouTubers say, like and share at the bottom. I don't know if there's actually going to be a link there, but I'm going to say it because it's a cool thing to do. But thank you for your time today, and good luck.
Thanks, man.
Hey.
Hey, you too.
Cut.